I guess that's kind of super important when you're talking about franchises, right? Because I've been in a franchise situation. We didn't always have a designer, that kind of thing. How does that matriculate in a
well,
franchise situation?
It's really interesting point there, Matt, because with a franchise, obviously the branding is the key. The reason that a franchisee is signing up with your franchise is they feel that the branding is going to embody, what their ethos is. So, I mean, we work, for example, with some organizations which are franchises in the fitness world. And again, it's very, very key. The imagery that they bring is important. So as a franchisor, you need to make it very, very simple for your franchisees to be able to deploy that branding. You've got to make it super, super simple, because in those kind of businesses, particularly in the fitness business, what they're looking for is more subscribers. They have to have everything is attuned to kind of, making sure that brand is appealing and differentiated from other brands in the market. And of course, for the franchisor, always it's about expansion. Always it's about bringing on new franchisees. So if you kind of, understand this world, you can see that they're always trying to recruit, and you need to make the onboarding process as easy as possible. If somebody signs up, you want them to be able to immediately get hold of all the material that they'll need and deploy it straight away. So very, very important. So there might be kind of fairly, you think about the controls, fairly controlled around the messaging, but perhaps for, again, you think about a sort of a gym fitness situation, perhaps very free on setting up the dates for the events and etc. So, you've got the combination of locking things down to make sure the brand activates correctly, but then the freedom so that they can kind of put on their own, their own local events very, very, very easily and quickly.
What about just facilities?
Another customer we had recently, that what they sort of came to have help with is they have got facilities all across the world, and they were very happy with the inconsistency of that. So they wanted to feel like if somebody came to visit and they went into a facility in the US versus a facility in the Far East, that it would feel the same. It would have the same look and feel. And of course, that's very important in the sort of hotel hospitality world as well. People like this consistency. So, in cases like that, again, a system that can provide the material, but then allow the localization and the flexibility. And again, as we talked about before, perhaps there's different cultural imagery you have to use in different countries to support things. So perhaps there's a program of events, there's causes that are supported. So again, making that material available so that, if it's a given month and something's being supported by the organization, being able to produce material to go with that. And that's very big, because lots of this sort of facility stuff is also employee communication. You want the employees to be engaged in the ethos of the brand. And that's really a great way to do it. And of course, that does, as you can imagine, that's very different culturally in different countries. So you may be doing something in the US and something completely different in another region, but it's all, designed for the same aim of kind of feeling, people feeling inclusive within the organization, but within that local, that local country setting.
I get it. Right. So there's there's a chance for local nuance, but there's also the immutable things that
Absolutely.
a brand.
Yeah. And that's kind of the conundrum, to make sure that you've got that, but then you realize that places of the world, they're the same, but they are different, and you have to kind of be able to take that all into account and take it all in the stride of the process that you're putting in place. So it's got that level of flexibility, but you don't get the big things, you don't get the big things wrong. You don't get somebody using, last year's signage, last year's logo, the wrong colors, the wrong Pantone, all of that kind of stuff. You get that all locked down, but you've got that flexibility to be able to reflect what's going on, in the local situation.
If locals are if it's for signage or something, and they have to produce it locally, can a system like this help?
Absolutely. So, speaking for our own system, we can integrate really or kind of produce material to work with our customers' normal production mechanisms. So, be it print, whatever channels that they use for social media, even, for producing things like apparel, they can use whoever they normally use. And, again, we're living in an era where people are expecting to receive these files. And what they want to do, any printer wants to receive the file that's correct. So lots of them have automated systems of delivering the files. So again, it's very straightforward if you kind of understand the technology to integrate with that, so that we can, send material that's produced on the system in the correct format. Again, that's another thing that always goes wrong if you do this manually. Have you got the format right? Have you remembered to convert everything to CMYK? Have you got the correct fonts, etc., etc.? So all of that can be handled. The file can arrive correctly at the print facility of your choice, and these print facilities can be, different for different countries. So for our big customers, they have different print facilities in different countries. Perhaps the print facilities have slight differences of the type of material they can produce, but the system knows about that. So if you're producing something that needs a certain printing technique, you'll only be able to select the printers who can handle that. And obviously, it's localized to be efficient for printing in your country or your region. So the system can absolutely take care of the whole, that whole last mile headache. That can all be handled.